Yo, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Action Podcast, the best podcast in the world. Today we have special guests. We have the founders of Visionaries. So, Visionaries is a Mozambican clothing brand that acts as a means for the youth to present their individuality free of judgment and promote self expression through fashion while trying to engrave the uniqueness the youth can and should have into people's minds. Um, we have the founders of Visionaries.
Yes, sir.
Arnovo and Kelvin.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Can you give the people a brief introduction of who you are, your names, your ages, and what is Visionaries?
Um, Name's Kelvin, as you said, 18 years old, and yeah, I could call myself both a fashion designer and a photographer, but also a videographer as well, kind of. I do a little bit of all of those things. And Visionaries started off as more of an art project, but now it has become something for people to engage with at a more personal level. I want to see people actually showing the world who they are with the help of our clothes. So yeah.
As for me, I'm Arnold Junior, known as Asha. You can also call me Junior, but okay, Asha. I am a member of Núcleo de Arte, an artist. I am part of media agency, a model, and I'm one of the owners of Visionaries. So I'm an artist, a model, and a fashion designer. And also, yeah. So with this, we both try to express ourselves in ways that we can all do it, you know? We try to put ourselves out there, what goes on with our lives and what goes on in our minds. And he does photography, videography. I am in the art part, modeling. And yeah, that's about us.
Okay. There is another member.
Yeah, I was just about to say there's Fernandes. He's an integral part of the team. A lot of people may not know that. Just to make that clear, he is a very, very important part of the team. He just couldn't be here today.
Okay, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Now, how did the three of you meet?
School. Yeah, we all studied together. Just me and him, we met earlier.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Met around 2015, 16. Yeah, and I think 2017 or no. When he made 10 years old, there's when our relationship really started to have to where our relationship really had a stronghold, you know. We were best friends now for like 8 plus years. I don't even know. But yeah, we met at school. We were friends since in 2019, I think 18 was when Fernandes came into our group, and there's when we both and him started to have all of these creative ideas and started to express ourselves in different ways.
Okay. Now, how old are you? I don't know.
I rather not mention.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So, you guys studied at the same school,
Yeah.
and we definitely respect that. We definitely respect that. So, you guys started at the same school, and then Fernandes came in.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, who started with the idea of? I mean, how did the whole brand start? I mean, was someone interested in drawing? You said you're
Yeah.
interested in art, right?
Yeah.
Someone started drawing, and then the person invited the other one, or how did it all
No,
start?
it was just, I still remember this like it was yesterday. Me and him, right at the time, we were massive Off-White fans because it was starting to become trendy in the US.
What's that?
Off-White brand founded by Virgil Abloh. May he rest in peace, by the way. But yeah, me and him were massive Off-White fans, and one day we were just chilling at my house, looking at Off-White's clothes online, and we both just had sort of an epiphany moment, like, yo, what if we did this though?
Mm.
What if we
Had a
could,
brand.
yeah, what if we could someday make something this good and have this many people like it? And so the idea just started from there.
What was it about those clothes that you were so intrigued by? And
I don't
curious
know.
about?
It was like a
It was
bunch
just
of
nice.
yeah.
It was just nice. We
Yeah.
really enjoyed seeing Off-White, Antisocial, Tycho, and yeah, it was just amazing. And we actually started to dream about what it would be to have a brand. And we created a page, I think, on the same day. Then time passed, and he was the one that first picked on the design, and he was the one that did the first designs of the first drop. Then I started to pick up, and yeah, we both started to work on everything together.
Okay. Now, did you have a passion for like clothes before that day, or was it just in that moment that you just fell in love with the?
No,
With,
the thing is, we were starting to fall in love with clothes at that time,
Mm.
and so just the idea of owning a fashion brand together would take our love for fashion to the next level, and that's what happened.
okay. I'm always curious when people say that because personally, I'm not a big clothing guy. I don't have. I mean, obviously, I like clothes, right? But I don't have a passion for it, and I don't really understand when people say have a passion for clothes. What is it about clothes that you really like? Is it the material? Is it the drawing on it? The design? Like what is it?
Everything.
The silhouettes, the
Yeah.
cuts, the cuts. Yeah, I love the cuts. You know, you know. Have you seen Rick Owens? Do you know Rick Owens?
No.
Okay, so let me not talk about it. The cuts. It's amazing. The silhouettes, the designs. Right now, we're in a point where we don't actually see designs, but yeah, the designs are cool as well.
Yeah, just even the way the clothes make you feel. Like I don't know how to explain it, but there's certain clothes I put on and just go like, man, I look fly right now. You know, you feel different. You
Right.
feel different.
Now, was that the thing that the common interest that you had that made you become friends, or was
Nah.
it just a coincidence?
Coincidence.
Okay.
Coincidence. We had already been best friends for a few years when that happened.
Okay. You didn't know about the common. You didn't know you had that common interest. At the
I
time.
guess we started to find out about it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was Fernandes part of the group on that day?
No,
No, not yet.
Okay, not yet.
Not yet.
And that was 20,
19, 18.
That was 18, yeah.
2018.
Mm.
Now, how did the name Visionaries come about? And why Visionaries?
So, this is a bit of a funny story. We were okay for a while. We've both liked the same type of stuff. Since we spend so much time together, we kind of start becoming the same person, kinda. So, a common love we had was music, Jaden Smith's music to be specific. And at that time, his brand Misfits, he had this like capsule drop where he had a bunch of like hoodies and t-shirts with just vision written on them, and we just looked at that and went like, bro, we could do something with this. Since we're about to start a brand, we could do something with this. Then what are we?
We're two, and we like vision. Visionaries.
Hey, bro, did you guys just plan this right now, bro? Like you literally
bro.
said, "What are we?" And you continue that. Like you guys been practicing this, man.
After you spend
Damn, bro,
As
that
much
was
time-
magical, bro.
Nah,
That was
come
just-
on, man.
So yeah, it was about that. Yeah,
Mm.
it was a interesting day.
Okay.
That
Mhm.
day was. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Like we both still remember it like it was yesterday.
Mm.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Now this concept of promoting individuality, did you guys think of it at that time? Was it created at that time as well, or did that come after?
I think it came along a little bit later,
Okay.
because the deeper we decided to dive into this fashion thing, we both realized we did not want to be like the average person our age. We just, I remember like sometimes we would just look at people and go like, dog, I do not want to be like that person, man. Like, not to be rude or anything, but we just thought the general average person our age back then was super boring, and we just wanted to be something different from that. So that's when we decided to start uh, promoting that idea and that movement of be yourself,
Okay.
be as different as you can be and as you want to be, because that's the best version of you can be.
And it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
Right now, we see people trying to chase other people just to be part of a community. Like, you lose yourself just to be part of a community. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to like what you like. You don't need to put down people. You don't need to put down your likes just to get someone to like you. No, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to dress the way you want to. It's okay to like the things you want to. It's okay. It's okay. You know, you only live once. You know, people take that concept of we only live once and a bad idea, like, oh, you should drink, you should do drugs, but no, it's about enjoying every single moment, and the only way you can do that is by being yourself.
What was the vision at the time when you didn't have this concept of individuality? Naming it Visionaries. What vision did you have in your minds?
Just running something global, you know.
Yeah.
We knew we wanted to start some sort of movement. We just didn't know what movement it was yet, you know. So what was in our minds mostly was just for us to make something that people would enjoy.
Mm.
And then later along, the idea of individuality and self-expression came along.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did that concept come about? The individuality. Was there a moment? Did something happen in your lives that made you guys just run with that whole motto of promoting individuality?
Yeah, I think both of us at different moments, but both of us had like a reality check with each other, because there were times where we did indeed try to change a little bit of ourselves just to fit in a bit more and to be cool with X, Y, and Z group of people. And then someday we both just asked ourselves, do we really want to do this? Or do we just want to be ourselves?
Mm.
And that was when we decided we want to be ourselves. We want to choose to be the perfectly imperfect individuals that we are. So yeah.
Because there is a sense of emptiness that you feel, you know, when you're just constantly changing who you are. You're constantly doing things that you don't even like or enjoy. You lose yourself. You don't know who you are, and that is very deep. We saw that as a very negative thing. We also were considered as different since young, so yeah, it just came along.
Can you speak? Can you dive deeper into that? When you were searching for acceptance, and you were sort of escaping who you really were to fit into the group. Like, can you speak more about that? Like, who were these people you were trying to impress?
The thing is, it came in different times. You know, my realization was different from his realization. So the realization that we had together, I think it was more like, yo, bro, man, there was a time where I was trying this, and it was like, yeah, bro, same here. Then we're like, oh, so maybe we should just be ourselves. If you want to know the together part, but individually, we had our own stories and our own realizations.
Okay.
You can tell them first.
I guess my one was there were certain parts of me I would try to suppress, you know, the part of me that liked fashion and liked certain things. Because, okay, especially at that time, you know, we were young. People would just throw around certain adjectives at you if you liked something that wasn't conventional. So, liking fashion as a seventh, eighth grader for most people was just weird. An eighth grader, like a guy, it was just weird. People would just go like, surely he's gay, right? Like, surely, right? So to try and avoid that type of judgment and that type of scrutiny, I would just suppress that part of me and many other You know, like the part of me that really liked that imagery and capturing moments and stuff like that, because I did kind of know I wanted to do that early on. I didn't know how to begin, but I knew I wanted to do it someday. But that time I just thought like, nah, this is not cool. People, what are people gonna think of me? Everybody's gonna think I'm a weirdo. I might as well just never mention it. And so that's what I ended up doing. I ended up covering it up.
Now, what's the correlation between liking photography, capturing moments, and liking fashion with being gay? Like, what's the
People just think like if you invest, okay, especially at that time, I think it was a thing of like if you invest that much in your appearance, the closest thing we can compare you to is a gay guy, which is the closest thing we can compare a man to a woman.
okay?
You know, I think that was what linked all of my interests to being gay or being weird back then. So yeah.
Okay. And what was? I mean, obviously, that's not the case at all. I mean, men can be passionate about clothes and their appearance, right? I don't think that's
I mean, I know now, but back then I was a kid, you know, you gotta understand. I
yeah.
was like 12, 13. So yeah.
And what was your story? How did you try to fit in with people and escape who
Mm.
you truly were?
Well, for me, it started like way back, like 2012, 2013. I was the quiet kid, you know. I didn't have friends. I would stay in the classroom and sit and enjoy my own company. I remember a day that even the teacher called my parents. They were like, "Bro, this kid just sits here whilst others are playing in the playground. What is happening?" Then time passed, and the first time that people invited me, since I was a quiet kid that just stayed on his own corner. So the first time people invited me was to eat chips. It was Kelvin, my guy Wallace, and Tony Paco.
Mm.
So they invited me. That was like my first interaction, quote unquote, first interaction with people. And yeah, I enjoyed that. It was good to be around people. So since then, I try to change myself to just be a part of a group, to just get people to like you. So I did that, and it was amazing. It was working. Everybody liked me back then. But then I realized that, man, I'm doing all of these things. Do they really like me for me? You know, if something bad happens, good or bad, whatever, will they be there for me? You know, so you really have an identity crisis as a kid. It's messed up. You're like, man, do they like the guy that I act, or do they like me for me? So at a certain point, I was like, man, screw this. I can't be bothered no more, because it's very tiring to wake up and be like everything is okay while it's not. And I started to take a piss at people, and the real ones stayed, and they're my friends till today.
Okay. Now, how are you acting that was so different than who you truly were?
Man, it was just those petty things, just shout when you don't need to shout, just say bad things to people to act as cool. You just put certain acts and certain ways to just be part of a group of your classmates, or just trying to meet new people. For example, if you say that, oh no, I like football, and I'll be like, yeah, yeah, I like football as well. Neymar did this, but I don't even know nothing about Neymar. Back in the day, I was like, yeah, man, I like football, but I really don't like football. I like to play football, yes, but watch it. I don't. I'm sorry, but no, I don't like to watch football. But back then, I used to force myself to watch football just to have something to say when I'm with my peers. But that's the type of acting that I'm talking about. But now I'm like, man, okay, if you want me to play football, I'll come and play football. But if you want to talk about the game that happened last night, I can barely give a shit. I
Yeah.
don't know. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what happened. And
Why do you specifically target the youth, encouraging individuality to the youth?
Because honestly, I think that's our best bet at creating a freer Mozambique. There's a lot of mm, there's a lot of scrutiny around being unique here, especially amongst the older generations. So if I feel like if we target the youth, we're actually gonna have a real shot and making it different for the generations to come. I feel like more people are gonna have a chance to grow up being themselves without going through what we went through. So yeah.
After you both had this idea of starting a clothing brand to truly express your own art, right? Your own individual art. What were the first action steps that you took to start your clothing business?
Hmm. The first
Designing.
design. Yeah. At the time, we were doing like wallpapers, stuff like that, just to, get into. I remember back in the day, I used to love the Greek gods like David. I just know David. Those statues of Greek gods. Yeah. We used to make wallpapers with that. Then he actually started to download apps that we can actually design. And the second step, we of course, with this, you have support from your parents, you have support from your friends. So we asked, guys, you know somewhere where we can do t-shirts, where we can do trousers? And they were like, yeah, there's this guy. So the second step was to actually make the thing. So when we had the thing, we ran and did a photo shoot. And then that photo shoot took the whole day, man. It was my first photo shoot. We both weren't experienced. Hey, it was something.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward. And looking at those pictures now, it's like it's so funny because back then we got at the photo studio and we were like, yeah, man, we got some real banger pictures here, man. But now when we look at them,
Yeah.
it's so funny, man. It's so funny.
What is designing, man? Like, is it creating?
Designing is like literally just making mock-ups of your products. Like you see the graphics that you have on the t-shirts, for example, or making a logo or something.
Okay.
That's what we mean by designing.
Okay. Now I don't know if this information is confidential to the business, but after you designed the clothes, did you buy T-shirts and like print the design onto the T-shirt, or did you create the fabrics?
Pretty much just print onto the t-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was pretty much it. Cause we weren't. First of all, it would have been way too big of an investment to thread the t-shirts on your own, make your own blanks. That would have been a massive investment for our first drop that we didn't even know whether it was gonna be successful or not.
Okay.
And second, it would have just taken a lot more time. And we were super eager. We wanted to start working on the brand as soon as possible. So yeah.
And we were kids. I do not remember that passing to my mind back then. I just know that now we're actually starting to work on the fabrics, and we're actually taking courses of fashion design and know how to make these things for the brand. So
Okay. And
it's
how?
coming.
Yeah. How long did it take for you guys to create your first collection? First, like, pieces of clothing.
Like I would say a month tops.
Yeah.
Like, cause it was very fast.
It
It
was
was
very
very
quick.
fast. Like we would back then. I remember we would sketch out and design like 10, 15 t-shirts a day,
Mm.
and we used to do that like all day, every day. And we just as he talked to our parents, you guys know uh, any people who can print onto t-shirts and stuff, and our showed us do that, and we went ahead with production.
Okay, so you guys had the shirts, the t-shirt collection.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You guys had the shirts and sold, or you had people first?
No, we had the and sold.
How many shirts did you?
I just want to say, anybody who has a brand, that's a terrible mistake.
Hmm.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You're a big name, and you have like you have proper solid support. don't
Why?
do that.
Waste of
It's a
money.
massive risk. It's a
Mhm.
massive risk.
Mm.
I would say 90% of if you do, you're just gonna overproduce and under.
Mm.
You're gonna lose. Don't
Okay.
do
And where did you guys get capital to pop up those shirts before you sold them?
that. Parents.
Okay.
Parents. I would say we're really pretty blessed. Our parents. Our parents do that.
Supported us for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And t-shirts did you produce at first?
In 2015.
20-ish.
Why that?
20-ish.
It's
We
a
just
first.
we that was a safe number to start with. And matter of fact, we didn't even sell all of the 20. We just gave away to friends because we were newcomers and we had tried to create a bit of around our name, so we had to give away to people to help promote our clothes. And then one half we get and the other half.
How do you get to? This is something I was thinking, actually. How do you get to buy clothes? Because clothes, like a lot of people, the most popular in the world,
Yeah.
famous from the most established ones. For a new business, how do you get to into the to the? I don't even know if that's your for them to buy into your concept of your clothes for them to the vision. Where is the, let's pride yourselves in the physical quality of the clothes.
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. I think honestly, you need to make sure that people know that if they're wearing clothing, they're part of a good club. They're a respected club. It was why after we started working with the clothing brand, we elevated styles, the way we and stuff like that. All of us. If you compare, we started off versus a lot more artistic, a lot more creative, a lot more than what we were, and that's because now we basically represent what the brand is represent. When we're selling our clothes to people, we want to make sure they know that if they buy our stuff, they one of us, they won.
It's really the vibe. Since since the beginning, we were trying to create a vibe to bring something new, something refreshing. We live that vibe. I think the biggest thing is about the, and that's why we're insisting on individual, because you're trying to have meaning. You have meaning is something very different. If you leave the meaning, something very different. I can be so, what can I talk? Oh, heartbroken. I have a T-shirt that's everyone. It's different. Know if you understand, but when you have a meaning behind what you're doing, if you put effort and in whatever you're doing, it will always.
Okay, people have, you guys to buy into the concept,
Yeah.
which is duality, in order for
Mhm.
that's how you would.
Mhm.
Now, how does one feel like their individual is empowered by wearing vision?
We just we do that by making sure that our stuff is like no one else is here. That's what we do. We just have to ensure that our clothes do make you feel like you've never felt before in terms of in relation to a piece of clothing you're wearing. Like, let's talk about the hats we dropped recently, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe there is no other clothing brand that has made hats that had quite the motion that ours had, because a lot of people saw those and were like, man, I really relate to that because I do in a way want to uh embody what the hat says, which is a vessel for peace. A lot of people want to be a mechanism for there to be peace wherever they are. So by producing stuff that actually has a proper meaning, stuff that has morals attached to it, I feel like that's what makes people feel like the brand is much greater than just something you're wearing.
Okay, it's just a piece of clothing,
Yeah.
the meaning behind it.
Yeah.
And how do you guys feel has been the reaction from the public to, because you guys, I noticed that you guys make videos
Yeah.
on your Visionaries page, and I'm guessing that that's to transmit the real meaning behind the clothing, to show people that it's not just a piece of clothing, that
A
there's
lifestyle.
substance to it, right? There's depth to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what has been the reaction from the people?
It's been pretty positive,
Mhm.
I would
good.
say. Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. People, more so, people are enjoying the vibes we're bringing, you know? That's very important to us. When people feel like, when they look at our stuff and they go like, man, this stuff is cool. I want to be cool too. You know? Like, it's something really different, bro. It's really different. It means a lot to us.
Right. Have you guys ever had people tell you their stories about how they used to um, want to fit in to groups, and because they heard of Visionaries, because they bought into the brand of Visionaries, now they feel like they're more of themselves.
I've only had that happen one time, I'm gonna be honest. I've only had that happen one time. And it was a person that said they felt like they were a lot more comfortable with themselves in the sense of being unique because of the stuff that we made for them. So, yeah. I guess that has happened before, but only one time.
Okay. What are some of the challenges you faced early on when you started Visionaries?
It was to convince people, actually. You know, when we were starting to, when we first had the idea that, okay, we want to do a clothing brand, many of our peers were like, man, do you really think you'll be able to do this? Do you really think this is something your age? You know, we were 12, 13. We're like, man, what is going on? Do you really think that this will go somewhere? So we wasn't we didn't trust ourselves yet, but we were faking it till we make it. You know?
Yeah.
So that was difficult, but I think, yeah, that was one part
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. Dealing with doubt from people who don't know you is one thing. Dealing from doubt with friends that go to school with you every day and have been homies with you for a couple of years is something completely different. It's really discouraging, but we had to put on this facade of like, now we're confident this is gonna turn into something someday, and it is turning into something now. So
I think that when something is new, when you're creative, when an idea is creative, it's normal to get that kind of feedback.
Mm.
If the doubt is not projected onto you as negativity, then I think it's completely normal and natural.
Yeah.
People are gonna think, okay, I don't see the vision that you see because I'm not you, and I don't have the plan as laid out as you have. So I think it's only natural for people to have that bit of doubt. Now, how did you guys is the doubt something you still face?
I think a lot of people started to believe in us a lot more in the past year or so. Just simply off seeing what we're doing right now and how we're doing things now. You know, we've really stepped up in how we present our products, how we package our products, how we market our products. So most people that talk to us about the stuff we do just offer praise now, which was definitely not the case in the beginning,
Okay.
but it is now.
I always try to follow what my mother says. She always says to me, man, Junior, you have a lot of dreams that kids, boys your age, can't dare to dream. And don't listen to whatever bad things they have to say. Never let your fate go down. If you have something that you truly desire and wanted, chase. Even if someone that tried, for example, if you have tried a clothing brand and didn't work, and you tell me that, yo, your clothing brand will fail, my mother always tell me never listen to him, because maybe you have another capacities that he didn't had at the time, and you will make it. So never let yourself down because of another person. Always keep your head up. And if it doesn't work, man, it's life, it happens, but at least you tried. So I always try to follow that advice from my mom, and yeah, it gives me courage to really just do everything that comes to mind and really just chase after everything that I truly desire.
How do you guys divide the roles? You, Arnovo, Kelvin, and Fernandes. How do you guys divide the role within the business? The roles.
I would say Fernandes is more like QC, quality control.
And what
So
is that?
anything we're about to drop has to go through him first. Before production starts, he has to see any and everything we're planning to drop, and then he gives it sort of a rating, and then usually he gives pretty much the final decision. If it's bad, he tells us, yo, cool that you guys like this, but from a customer's perspective, I don't think anybody would buy this. And if it's good, he just tells us, I can see this selling, we should go ahead, and we do. Um, the two of us,
Sorry,
we,
so he controls the quality as far as the design.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
And then the two of us, we do most of the designing and the image direction of the brand in terms of like the IG posts and for example the color palette of the brand, uh, how the brand is presented and stuff like that. We control that. Also, we make the designs, obviously. So yeah.
Okay. And you guys are both creative, right? Because you participate in the design of the clothes. Now, how do you balance the creative side that you have with the business? You know, would you guys produce something that you're passionate about, but you think you wouldn't sell? Like, where's the balance?
As of now, absolutely not.
For real.
Absolutely not. Like at some point, you have to prioritize one or the other.
Mhm.
You know, because obviously Visionaries is it started off as sort of an art project, but now it's grown to become a lot more than just that. You know, this thing has to make money, Doc.
Hmm.
This thing has to make money. We need money to stay alive. So if we keep producing things just because we like them and because it's artistic and it's cool, that's just gonna run us out of business, bro. That's gonna completely kill the brand. Obviously, it's nice to think of a world where you can just produce art and be happy about it, but that's not the world we live in.
Hmm.
That's not the world we live in. So at some point, you just have to prioritize one or the other. Sometimes you can bring both into agreement, but still, one is gonna be,
Dominant.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Are you guys currently satisfied with the business aspect of things, with the sales and all that?
Yeah, this we actually were discussing, and we don't have the same answers. I would say yes. I'm very satisfied from where we have came from. But the thing is, we took some time off to actually focus on whatever we have going on. You know, from our private, our main accounts. I have my thing going on with my art and trying to do modeling and plus school, university, and he has photography, videography, university. So all of that kind of squeezes our time, and we barely have time as we had before to work on designs, to be active on the Visionaries accounts, to just be there very present. So I'm not satisfied on our part, but yeah, I think we kind of lost the flame. He thinks that we still have the flame, but I think we lost it, but we can definitely get back.
It's like you're looking at it like realistically because you have less time now. You're much
Yeah.
more like appreciative of what of the progress in the like in the grand scheme of things from where you started to
Yeah.
now, instead of
But no, I actually, the thing is, when we drop, we actually have positive reaction towards our drops, and it's good to see. But comparing to the days of, there was a drop that we launched, and it didn't last a day. it were like hours and it all sold out. Back in the day where we used to produce then sell, it all sold out in hours. So now I think it actually takes time because people are just not used to it. We kind of relaxed people from seeing visionaries, so when we get back, it's exciting, but it is not as explosive as it was. What do you think, Kelvin?
Mm, I mean, I can't really argue against that. I can't really argue against that. Obviously, um, we did establish ourselves as a sort of different brand in the market, but since we cooled down, the last time we had dropped before the hats was over a year ago, which I guess we'll get into it later. But that year break made it so people's hearts kind of cooled down towards how different we are. And for us to come back a year later and drop something as unconventional as hats, obviously people weren't gonna be super gassed or running to get the hats. We did make a couple of sales. It was relatively good. It was more of a sacrifice drop, if anything, to be honest.
What is that?
A sacrifice drop is when you are not thinking as much of profiting, you're just thinking of getting the attention back. So you just lowered the price a lot in hopes of getting people back paying attention to your brand. That's pretty much what we did here.
Okay.
Because if you were to see the packaging and the attention to detail that there is on these hats, you would not believe the price point they are at.
Mm.
It's completely disproportional, but we just had to do it. Yeah.
And the break that you're referring to is from March 2020 to June 2023, right? The 1 year break. Sorry, March 2022.
2022, yeah.
To June.
Yeah.
What happened? Why did Visionary disappear?
We were actually about to drop June 2022. We were about to drop these t-shirts, but we had a crazy issue with suppliers. Like this tiny little piece, it's a really integral piece of the machine we used to produce these t-shirts, because the quality on these is very different. This tiny piece broke, and it turns out that this piece is only produced in the US every 2 years, and there were none available anywhere. We tried and tried and tried, we just couldn't get any. So yeah, it was just a back and forth with suppliers and things getting pushed back all the time until we just really just lost that we lost that feeling of haste. We lost that energy to go after these things, and we just completely diverted our attention to more of our personal things like photography and videography for me, and modeling and plastic arts for him.
Now, how do you guys? I also don't know if this is you guys can make this public, but how do you guys plan on expanding the brand vision of the clothing brand? Because you're speaking, right, and you were talking about how you guys are more artistic than business minded a lot of times. Now, how do you guys plan on making people in Maputo, or even I mean people in Maputo first, I guess, right? Know about this brand? How do you guys plan on making it a bit gaining more exposure and making more sales overall?
Well, I think first off, I've mentioned before that we started actually producing or learning how to produce the clothes from scratch. So that would be something very interesting, because we're starting to learn how to do trousers, for example. You're starting to learn how to do vests. You're starting to learn how to do t-shirts and so on. So by knowing this, we can bring different silhouettes. We can bring the trendy looks that are up there, and people will know what Visionary is. People will actually be interested in buying Visionaries, because as for now, we're taking on a t-shirt and putting the designs in and sell it. that is the least we can do. But bringing new waves, actually new waves that can express our meaning towards the brand, I think it will gain a lot of attention. I think people are ready to see outfits and not pieces, outfits from Visionaries, and that's what we are working on. And yeah, that will be a great point to expand globally and also here in Mapud.
Do you have anything to add?
No.
So you guys plan on gaining more exposure by increasing the quality of the clothes.
Yeah, essentially. We need to decommoditize ourselves. It's either decommoditize or uncommoditize, I'm not sure. But yeah, we need to do that.
What is that?
Um, Decommoditizing is like we need to make people look at our products for the value of them and not for the price of them. Because when people look at your product as a commodity, they will always compare it to other commodities. They will look at our T-shirt, go like, "This is 1,500, but that one is 1,200. Why would I buy this one?" You know, we
Okay.
need to make sure we're not in that category of people buying our stuff just for the price, but rather buying our stuff for the value only.
Okay. So you want to differentiate your clothing in the market by increasing its physical quality.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because the moral aspect of things is already there. I feel like there's already a very strong why behind why we make our stuff the way we make it. So, yeah, I think that's the next part we need to invest in.
And for the exposure, what are your reviews on partnerships with content creators, artists, people with some kind of popularity that may represent the same vision that you have, and content creation? What are your views on that?
Oh, we're very open to that. Yeah, we have a couple of artists that we have combined with and released content with. Unfortunately, they aren't on our main page, but you can find them on our second page, Visionaries Projects. Yeah. What do you have to add?
Yeah, we've collaborated with few people. We've collaborated with Leadus, the producer, Suli. We've worked with Prince as well.
Okay.
So, as long as it's people that we can see that they somewhat understand the vision we have, then we're very open to working with them, and not just to use them as a means of marketing our stuff, but also as a means of spreading the message we have.
Okay.
So yeah.
And how did you work with those people that you mentioned? What was the what was the partnership? I don't know if I can call it partnership. What was the partnership about?
It was okay at that time. Um, for each of them, I think it was something a little bit different. With Suli, it was just about, yeah, putting the vision out there. Really, Suli is like family to us. So, matter of fact, shout out to Suli. But he's like family to us. So working with him was more of a thing of let's try and bring more exposure to both of us by combining and becoming one, because two is better than one, you know. Now with Leadus and Prince, Prince has a lot of pull in the sense of he actually influences. He doesn't just say he does. He doesn't even say he does. He influences. He actually can drive people to buy your stuff, which he did with us. And yeah, it was pretty much about it, marketing and getting him to wear our stuff and all of that. Lead us, I would say, kind of the same as Prince, because he wore our stuff to a video shoot with Hot Blaze and them, Hernani as well, right? Yeah. So it was about spreading the brand a little bit more and popularity.
And how did you guys get those? How did you guys get those people to do those things? Those popular, influential people, to do those things, to wear your clothes and post them. Do you know? Do you have a personal relationship with them, or?
We didn't back then. They actually approached us.
Mm-hmm.
They actually approached us. But now we're very much cool with each other. I was with Prince just the other day, and I come across leaders here and there a couple of times. So yeah,
Okay.
we're, I would say, well acquainted with each other.
Okay. So they just DM'd you
Yeah.
Mhm.
when you didn't know them. That has to be the greatest feeling ever, right?
Yeah,
You have,
I
like-
can't even lie. I can't even lie. Like the leaders DM, like, bro, I wanna wear your stuff. I'm gonna shoot a music video with Hernani and Out Blaze. I was like,
That was so cool.
yeah,
Hey, that was
yeah,
so
that
nice.
was so, that was different. That was different. But yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a great
Yeah.
feeling when people approach you to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, if he did that, it was from the heart. Because because you can't argue that he did it for popularity or anything like that, because
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, like,
more popular than you
At,
guys,
at
right?
that
Yeah.
time, we were tiny. We were a lot smaller than now.
Hmm.
So yeah, there really wasn't much for him to gain off
Yeah,
us.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And how about with the Prince? How was that?
Prince, same
He reached
thing,
to us as
right?
well.
Yeah, he reached out to us.
You didn't know each other,
I mean, I knew of him because
Okay.
he was pretty popular.
right?
Mhm.
But yeah, he reached
We
out to
met
us.
we were, I think, I can quote unquote party, Belen, and he was like, "Yo, man, what do you do? I see your thing, the Visionaries," and then I was like, "Yeah, man, I also see your thing. This is cool." And it was like, "Man, do you think that we can collaborate? Because I really like your shit." And I was like, "Really? Oh, do you really want to to join forces?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And yeah, back and forth, and we actually closed the deal.
Okay.
The one that I like is Sodi. Like Sodi, he was like, "Man," Sodi talked to him, so I really don't know how it happened. I just know that he was like, "Man, we need to give Sodi like 3 T-shirts, and we need to do this." And I was like, "Sodi, okay." Then I just wake up one day and I see Escolhido, and the picture is there with a Visionaries, and even he mentioned us on a verse Visionaries. Yeah, man, Sodi's just the guy.
That was very gratifying. A very gratifying feeling, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
As I said before, guy's family to me, man.
Mm.
To us, matter of fact.
Hey, his songs, man. I really love his songs. Like, I'm not trying to actually bring him up, but man, I really enjoy his songs.
Mm.
When I go to SoundCloud, and search Mozambican rappers, I don't think about none of this other creeps. I think about Zudi. 'Cause,
Okay.
yeah,
'Cause he's that good for you.
not for me. The good. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
like-
He's that good. He's that good. I thought you were saying that he's good as in he treats me well. No,
No,
the
no.
music, man. The music is just insane.
How do you guys see the Mozambican clothing market?
But
I mean, like Mozambican like brands.
No.
I feel like people are lacking meaning. Now you see a lot of designers just posting PGGs of designs that they made, and man, I just don't see nothing.
Yeah, people really lack a why behind the stuff that they do. I don't want to mention any specific brands, you know,
Right.
but like I have a brand in my mind right now, and it's like, man, you can just see when someone really sat down and planned stuff and actually has a meaning behind what they do, and when someone just hops on the wave because they just want to know what it's like, or they
Yeah,
just
we
want the money.
Want the money.
You can definitely see the difference in that.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I would like the market, the fashion market in Mozambique, to consist more of young people, free spirited people, but people who also have a real meaning behind why they're joining the fashion market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think there's an answer as to what that meaning should be?
No. No one should be confined into a box, you know, when it comes to stuff like that. You can start a brand with any reason. As long as you're very passionate about your why, I think you're good to go.
And a question someone asked is, do you need models?
Not exactly. We don't really need models because we're both very used to being in front of the camera. Same with Farna, he's just a natural with picture, so we could just have him model for all of our shoots. But I think having models adds a lot of variety to your page.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes it. It also helps you make your brand clearly inclusive. In terms of who can wear your stuff. So yeah, having models is a plus in my opinion, but you don't absolutely have to have models.
Okay. Your most recent release is A Vessel for Peace, which is a cap, right? A hat.
Mhm.
It's not a hat, it's a cap, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, on the caption, it said, "Powerful statement for unity and harmony."
Hmm.
Now, what is a vessel for peace?
A vessel for peace is someone that, independently of the environment in which they are in, they can always bring that feeling of serenity, that feeling of unity. You know, I feel like we have both been a vessel for peace in different times of our life. Same with Ferna, because there's always times of uncertainty, times of disagreement amongst different people, and if you are able to tone things down and bring calmness and respect back into the room in those cases, then do so. You would be being a vessel for peace in that case.
How did the inspiration for this release come about?
We actually have a few different releases lined up. As you can see, we have the t-shirt, A Vessel for Peace. We have the hats, A Vessel for Peace. But
A vessel for change.
there's also a vessel for love.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a vessel for truth. And those are all things that we might tap into someday. But yeah, we just had a list of different, let's say, phrases like that. And we decided to go with Vessel for Peace for the job.
Okay. What is the importance of being in harmony with people and being in peace?
That's essential, man. That's essential for hanging out with anyone. Like in this world, you're always gonna disagree with people, independently of your values, your morals, your background. You're always gonna disagree with people. As long as you guys can agree to disagree in a peaceful manner, then the best is always gonna come out from whatever interaction you guys are having. I think it's essential as human beings for us to be able to uh, share a space, or for us to be able to live together despite of the differences we may have.
Mm. I don't know, Kelvin, Visionaries. This is the end of the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. Do you have any final words to the people?
I just want to say, check out our page at Visionaries, Visionaries, and then 3 underscores. And thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you guys for listening at home.
And just to add, whatever you do, do with passion, love, and always choose peace in your life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys, for being part of the podcast. It's really a shame that Fernandez wasn't here. I wish the three of you guys were here. Would have been the most perfect scenario with harmony. And if you guys enjoy watching the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to watch our future podcasts and our previous podcasts. Make sure to leave any comment down in the comments if you have any questions regarding anything that was discussed. We'll definitely reply to it. I'll leave the Visionaries Instagram in the description, as well as their last release, A Vessel for Peace. Final question: how can the people purchase A Vessel for Peace?
You can just contact us through our Instagram, or if you would rather phone us, you can just phone us at +258 82 704 4978.
Thank you for watching, guys. It's all about that action.